So in the beginning of the year, I noticed that a lot of my kids were very interested in engineering, and one of our TEKs is a construction TEK, so that you know, the children are learning how to put pieces together to make things, you know, like how wheels are used in different materials and how magnets are used in different things to help make a machine, right? So we were building bridges at the beginning of the year. Well, then I noticed that in the news, Baltimore, Maryland had had a ship accident and the bridge fell down. And so I brought that to the students because a lot of them hadn't heard about that. And we talked about it, investigated, and while we were talking about it, they were fascinated by what happened and what point it fell down. And we were discussing those different points based on what we'd already previously learned. And then they were like, well, we could help them by building another bridge. We could send them our ideas, because I was really impressed by their ideas when we were talking about it. And so they took the stance of how to make the bridge self-protecting so that it would be able to survive another crash, so that people wouldn't get hurt. And so that's where we went. We started having discussions about it, and then the students took that and they started drawing their designs and thinking and discussing with each other and myself, and we started researching other bridges and what else was in the world, and just taking all those elements and those ideas and incorporating them into our designs. We had Mr. King, a volunteer at school, he's a CAD artist for engineers, and he came in and he talked to us, and he left us a gift of a Da Vinci bridge so that we could see how that actually worked and the type of metal. And he talked to us about the bridge that was in another city up north that he visited. It was the Duluth Bridge, and so we were able to talk about that with him and the different designs that one had. And he was very dynamic and exciting, and the kids got to show them, and we're really proud of their work and just discussing all that with them. And then I decided that, you know, they worked so hard on this that I was just going to see what would happen. And I sent an email to the mayor in Baltimore, and he replied to me in a few days after I sent it and was interested in seeing our work. And so I was able to put the slideshow together with all the kids' work and send it to him, and we're just waiting for his reply.
Were you surprised back when you heard from the mayor?
I was shocked. I nearly cried. It was exciting. I was sitting at my table, you know, working with kids, and I was like, what? Wow. And they were like, what? Because I don't usually get excited like that. And when they heard me, they were like, oh, something's up. And so they were so excited. A couple of them like jumped around a little bit, you know, that sort of thing. But we were thrilled that he was interested in our work. And I did send it to him. And then it was about 2 weeks later, I guess, and then that's when Mr. King sent us a link to look at, and they're already starting to show preliminary drawings for a new bridge, and the kids noticed elements of what they had created in this new bridge, and so they're really excited because they feel like they were listened to and that their ideas are being honored. So some of the ideas that they had were to have like the construction where you had a suspension bridge and a truss bridge. That way if one failed, then they'd have a backup plan for protecting people from getting hurt on the bridge falling or whatever. They also wanted to reinforce, you know, the piles that are in the water that hold the bridges up was another idea. And then our most exciting take to this is the technology part, where they were talking about having type of robot arms and nets so that we could clean the water when it's not being used by the boats, and so therefore we're taking care of our environment at the same time. It was rolling. It wasn't like you're having to drag them along. They were able to take this idea, be so excited about it, and then they wanted to work on it, and it was so driven by their desire to help somebody else and make something better in the world. I love the in-depth where they're really thinking. For example, somebody had an idea about using like an airbag to protect the piles, and another child, you know, countered and said, but if it's got air in it and it's near water, won't it float away? So that really taking that thought and understanding how all the components with the weather and how water works and air works it just blows you away, because it's just exciting that they have that depth of knowledge. When we found out that the mayor is actually running to be mayor again, we were thinking about sending him cards to cheer him on. That's what the kids wanted to do. It just shows that they're going to do great things when they get older, because they are thinking about the world around them and wanting to help others, and they're just showing that love and that stewardship of community, whether it's community at home or community in our country.